Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got a guest in studio. We haven't seen him since last year, since we were promoting this event, which I'm super proud to be a part of because it's a really well put together, super top-notch, awesome golf tournament.
And the fact that we get to be out there in one of the best areas, if not, dare I say, my favorite area, the best area. We're going to be out there on the little White Claw fan deck, the little party action out there. We did it last year. The food trucks, the private area between, what is it, between 15 and 16?
Yeah. I mean, just Bay Hill, the golf course
It's just being
itself
out there with the sun shining on your skin is phenomenal.
So Cavendar's here to talk about the Arnold Palmer Invitational coming up on March 6th through the 10th. And again, just like last year, we are partnering with the Arnold Palmer Invitational to promote the White Claw party deck or White Claw fan deck. And you can get your discounted tickets in that area by going to tomandan.com, clicking on the Arnold Palmer Invitational web ad button right on the top of our webpage. And then you can
look for the umbrella, smash it, and get your tickets.
Yeah, and you can buy tickets to each day. I know we're going to be doing some live recording on Thursday like last year. So me, you, and Sam are going to be out there doing a segment at ACT. So if you want to come out there Thursday or the whole weekend, get your tickets through the tomandan.com app or the web ad, because that's the where you get the discounted tickets. And there's a little secret is like we have the best value ticket, and
we do.
I know a lot of people have found that out last year, and it sold out quick.
We have the best ticket.
But so I'd get them now before they sell out, because they did sell out last year before we even went out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a rapid fire ticket. All of it, like the entire event. I would say if you're planning on going out there, I mean, I wouldn't hesitate before I started getting on it, because you're gonna miss out
with our ticket. You get access to the White Claw fan deck, but also you could walk around the entire tournament,
which is the most fun. So Cavendar, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How's it going? You're building out the city, Golf City, is what I think you and I called it last year.
Absolutely.
How much stuff is brought in?
So much, and like hundreds of partners come together to make this thing happen in such a short amount of time. Like I was telling Dan earlier, once you get back from Christmas, it's on.
Yeah.
And like the build is starting, and then every day it just increases, and it takes up until the last week. And people always ask me, like, what do you do all year? And I'm like, you need literally all 365 days to make this thing come together. And every year you're like, gosh, I wish I had more time.
Yeah, it's one of the things that, it's the closest I'll ever come to, I think, of being part of something the size of, like, let's say, we just had it this past weekend, like the Super Bowl. When you had us on site and you were ushering us around in the golf carts and everything, seeing the behind the scenes of just the people that just are getting humans to where they can see golf.
Right.
Is like hundreds of people. It's crazy.
The structure. I mean, how many semi-trucks are delivered, with all the different staging.
Yeah. And it was
bleachers.
cool seeing the
Tents.
homes in the area.
Yeah.
That and then you'd see like a dude out there in his house, and there'd be like a production crew for like a set like in his driveway, and he's just talking with them, and it's like the city is being built within an actual community of humans to do this grand sporting event. It's really neat.
I mean, we call it Orlando's signature event for a reason, and that's because it really does take the whole community to pull it off. And I think it's something the whole community hopefully is proud of.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be.
You'll see the signature Arnold Palmer umbrellas in like people's backyards within the golf course. So it's obviously they are supporting it.
Yeah, it was
there's
cool.
a reason why you live on Bay Hill property. I mean, this has been going on since the 60s, right?
Yeah. So the tournament started in 1966 in Orlando, and it moved to Bay Hill in 1979. So this is the 46th year it's been at Bay Hill.
Gotcha.
Now, is up until that point, is the trophy still a sword? Wasn't it?
It was for a long time. Now it's a beautiful Tiffany & Co. medal, our silver trophy. But it was sword for a long time.
I found one of the swords online. You and I can buy an Arnold Palmer sword from 1980.
Okay.
$670.
It's a bargain.
Yeah,
It is a bargain only because
is someone selling it that they want
it's
it?
got a person's name on it.
What?
It's like Jerry Smith. It's like some guy. It's like a wooden thing.
Yeah, I mean,
here, I have it.
I mean, if you won the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Here it is. I'll put it up.
What is it? Like their kids somehow got it in like an estate?
Yeah.
They're selling their granddad's.
A Wilkinson made in England. It's a Wilkinson sword. And then here, so there's, it says Chorister Cole. Coister Cole.
All right.
Whoever that person is. There you go. There you go.
While we're on the topic of that sword, so we have a Thursday event called Throwback Thursday.
Okay.
And Dan, the hat you're wearing comes with a Throwback Thursday ticket last year. The one I'm wearing comes with a Throwback Thursday ticket this year. But we're going to have the sword out there for people to take pictures with this year. So.
I knew I was guessing right in bringing up the sword. I wonder, well, I mean, swords. It's kind of like we changed the name of the NBA team, the Bullets. We're like, we're going to back away from weapons a little bit, like we'll make it a Tiffany & Co. And then you have to, do they ship that in the blue box?
With the blue bag.
Really?
Yeah. And then they get the red cardigan when they win, too. So, it's a nice little twofer.
That's dope, man. Really, really. I think that's better than the sword, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. What's in honor of Arnold Palmer, after he passed away, they started giving away the red cardigan as every time he won.
I love it.
Did they go back and give the red cardigan to all the previous winners?
That's a great question.
I don't think they do.
Okay, it only started after that.
I would be bummed.
So we started researching Arnold Palmer before he came in. Just
too much to even talk about.
And you start getting into this man's life, and it is incredible. There are some humans, and I don't know what it is, but there are some humans born in this world that are just able to accomplish anything they set their mind to, which we've all been told as kids that we could do this and we cannot. Let me tell all our listeners.
There's only a few people can do it. Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer.
Hey, I mean, you could probably
Michael
name
Jordan.
But even I think Arnold Palmer, beyond just being insanely good at golf, that it goes beyond that because the man was good at everything.
Good human.
Good human, interesting too.
Yeah, a lot of people can do. Most of the people right now, no offense, that are accomplishing pretty amazing things. They're shooting up in space only. They're pretty terrible people.
We're just the
Arnold Palmer, you're thinking women and kids. It's in the name. I mean, in Orlando, you can't think about the Palmers without thinking about health and helping babies and kids and mamas.
The charitable aspect.
Yeah.
How good. I mean, the guy is considered one of the best golfers ever in the world in history.
He designed over 300 golf courses.
Yeah. The amount of money in the business he was. Then you get into his piloting, which is super interesting.
I didn't know anything about this until today. Knowing you're coming in, I'm like, got to find a couple little things, little tidbits to talk about. He had a fear of flying. I didn't know. He had, just like me, had a fear of flying. But I'm the weak. I'm weak Arnold Palmer. The weak Arnold Palmer, he has a fear of flying, and he just keeps the fear of flying until he dies. What does Arnold Palmer do? He teaches himself how to fly and takes the lessons and everything, and then he just becomes a world-class pilot that just starts breaking records and holding records that are still held to this day.
Well, he started flying to all his golf tournaments himself, so which is unique to fly yourself to every golf tournament.
Well, I mean, Cavendar can correct me, but I believe that was all rooted in him wanting to spend more time with his family.
Yeah, I mean, he was so ahead of his time in so many ways. I mean, he was the first athlete to sign a marketing deal and, have a marketing sponsorship in the 1960s. And then he started flying himself around the world and, like you said, logged 18,000 hours as a pilot and, set a world record flying around the globe in 1976. Athletes aren't doing that these days.
Yeah, and it still
holds today. So in 1976, he came up with this idea to fly his personal Learjet.
For thrills, he said. I read the quote. They were like, why did you do it? He's like, for thrills.
To circumvent the globe, I guess in that plane, and it was considered like a business, a Lear business
class jet.
I'm sure their military planes can fly around the world way faster, obviously, but in I guess it's called Lear 36 jet. He flew around, circumnavigated the globe. He had to make stops for fuel and whatever. Then he made a stop in India, rode an elephant. If you read the story, it's insane.
Yeah, he took a break when they were he did. He did go ride an elephant while they were refueling and doing stuff. He said he spent 55 minutes in the city.
Yeah.
I guess.
And 48 years later, the record still holds. No one's beat it, which is crazy. Like, I guess no one's even, because I'm sure with today's technology, because I'm sure jets can fly longer without refueling, you know? Like, even if you had a brand new jet, it was built in the 70s. So, like, someone could beat it, but everybody's like, nah, we'll just let Palmer have it.
But I also like this in the timeline from this article I'm reading about, Arnold Palmer and what he did. It says, Palmer walks into his hangar. This is 1956. Palmer walks into a hangar at his hometown of Latrobe Airport and asks Babe Cricknock for flying lessons. He takes his first solo flight after only 8 hours of training.
I mean, it just goes hand in hand with him. Like, when he met his wife and they were engaged a week later, you know, and it's just like the guy moved quick.
Yeah,
it's like a fairy tale. It's like
Yeah.
if someone made a movie about it, it would seem like this is too far fetched. No one human can do this much.
That's kind of the point of like a Forrest Gumpy type movie.
It
right?
is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it is
yeah,
very Gumpy.
It is Gumpy.
He can do all because I found
It seems like also like I know his dad was because I got into it. Like
Right.
I started reading. I was
I
like,
started
this guy's
wasting too much
amazing.
time. I didn't know as many details about the actual tournament. I started like getting really into because there aren't websites for like here's 25 things about Arnold Palmer. It's not that. The first one that pops up is 101 things you need to know about him. That's how important he is. It's 101 things. It's humongous.
And like his dad was a greenskeeper, and that's like kind of how we got into golf. But like, and then you go back.
He gave
like,
Kate Upton her first golf lesson. That's on the list.
Like, if you see people that make an insane amount of money from the start, then you're like, okay, well, they just parlayed that money and then, built their wealth. But Arnold Palmer was like back when he won his first PGA Master.
He was when he won the Masters for the first time, he was also in the top of money. I'd read this. And being in the top of money for that time, I think it was 1956, he earned $40,000. That was being, if you were the big dog, the money dog.
Yeah.
You're pulling out all the money, $40K.
Yeah, which I know it's a lot for back then, but still pales in comparison. I mean, the top, the winner of the Arnold Palmer in March gets what?
$4 million.
$4 million.
Hey, a little bit better than.
And there's
40.
a $20 million prize purse, right? Yeah.
I mean, and so many golfers today know that Arnold Palmer paved the way for that. Right,
yeah.
Because all the things he did made all this possible.
Sure.
Yeah, with the endorsements, and then parlayed it into the course, and then built his mega wealth. But the whole time, like everything you read about, like down to earth guy, man of the people, like super charismatic. Which again, certain humans are born this way, and it's just like, man.
And then number 61 really stands out. I don't know if Cavendar knows this one. He loved bologna. Did you know that?
He's a man of the people.
He's the bologna man. You know who was also a bologna man? My father. Loved thick cut.
Well, I like bologna too.
Who doesn't like bologna? Maybe we should start.
But I can't make nothing.
People don't like talking about their love for bologna, though.
I haven't accomplished nothing. Set no records. Nothing that will ever stand after I die. Right when I die, everything's been broken.
And on your tombstone, it'll just say he loved bologna. That's all it says.
I'll be known as Bologna Tom. That's it. I was like, why do they even call it that? I have no idea.
I don't know. That's all we knew about him.
No one wrote anything in his Wikipedia, so he's lost.
Is there anything new that you guys added this year? Tell me about the one thing that I was confused about. And I thought you had this last year, but I didn't know about it. What is barbecue and birdies? What is that?
So that's our Saturday event. So like I said, Throwback Thursdays on Thursday.
Okay.
Friday we have Wine and Dine on 9. So we bring in 20 local restaurants, and if you're of age, all the wine you can drink for those couple hours.
Whoa.
And then Saturday is Birdies and Barbecue, and that's Four Rivers Barbecue and beer from Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, man,
that's
that's
awesome.
like the all-American meat and beer. That's what I like.
So, what I was curious about is that, and I know everything could be repaired, but do you guys have to have like guards, like for 24 hours before the event to make sure everything's pristine in the course and stuff?
Because once it's set.
Yeah, but there's a TV, because I'm sure the TV part of it is just gigantic. Everybody loves nowadays with betting too. Like betting on golf is super popular, and like FanDuel and DraftKings, and then now we got a Hard Rock and stuff. Like people are betting on golf and watching it. I've yet to get into wagering on golf, but everybody who does
this
it
is him saying he's getting into it. Yeah.
Everybody who does it says they have a good time. Yeah. But do you have to have guards?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, there's around the clock security, and you mentioned the course, and I've never seen it look better than it does right now. Something about the weather we've had these last couple months.
Mild
it's just
and a lot of we've had a lot of rain. Like in weird times, and it's not super. It's not like we haven't been having that sun that bakes the grass dry.
Yeah, it's just so pristine. And when you get out there in March, it's going to be even better. And
that's kind of the thing that I can't explain to people that haven't been out there. And it's like, it's hard to kind of emphasize that. It's hard to articulate it. Like, you got to get out there to kind of see it.
To see what a golf course can look like.
Yeah, it's weird. If you've never been on one, which I hadn't been on, like, it's kind of like going to like your first NBA game or first NFL football game. If you've never seen a true PGA golf setup, it's unlike anything you've seen before. Like it is like, it's weird how manicured it is.
Yeah, and even seeing the players up close too. Like people don't realize like a lot of these dudes are strong and they're athletes. They
are absolutely athletes.
And then you're like, and then watching their swing and seeing them hit a ball. It's like you never seen your drunk buddy. Like you're like, there's a lot of golfers out there. Like, oh yeah, my buddy Rick. He can hit it far, like, all right, you get a couple of Bud Lights and Rick, and he'll knock it far. And then you see a PGA player do it, you're like, it's unlike it. It's like seeing MLS player kick a ball.
It is.
You're like, whoa,
like
I didn't realize
control.
it was possible.
Yeah, another thing, too, that I didn't know was like a thing, but it only makes sense. And again, I'm coming from like NFL world or soccer world, which are my two main sports, and then now I've recently gotten into basketball. But when you go there, you see like beautiful young women that are like into golf. If I were a single guy, that's what I'm saying. Like if I were a single young man, like I would show out and dress up and I'd get my good seats and I would go there because it is nothing but a sea of beautiful humans enjoying the beautiful weather. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's awesome, man.
So Cavendar, anything else that people should know that's like new this year or different than last year?
Well, I mean, we're always trying to improve, and that's one of the fun things. We're always trying to make it better. So this year, Throwback Thursday is bigger than it ever has been. Corksicle came on as a presenting sponsor.
Okay.
So who knows all the things they're going to do for that event. There's new. So we have MasterCard and Capital One put two small businesses on the 18th hole. It's called Foodies and Fairways.
Okay.
So it's going to be a smash burger and ice cream out there. So that's new concession options. We have a fan village off of number 9.
We're just building a town.
Yeah, I mean, we really are.
It is, yeah.
We really are. There's new food truck options off of number 9. That's going to be that's a spot that we're really focused on making better and continuing to develop every year. So, and like I love hearing you guys talk about how much fun you had out there last year because I am so passionate about getting people out there for the first time because once they do and they realize what it's all about, then, some people are going to get hooked and just love it for life.
Well, I didn't want to work it. I mean, that's not to say that this isn't fun or being out there and recording wasn't fun, but it would have been a lot more fun just to hang out and drink White Claw and just take in the day. It was
just walking around because there's a million things to do. Yeah, and seeing like, it's fun to see celebrities that are famous in person and watch them do what they do. It's like, you're seeing some of the best golfers in the world do what they do. Then as you hang out in an awesome environment
you're
and
part of it. And what's cool about golf too is that like the golf is kind of swirling around you while you're there. You're not going to the golf's coming to you. So what was interesting is you were taking us like to where we were going to stage. And like we're driving through, but then we'd like, because people were coming through, like, oh, he's gonna hit, and then they put up the signs, and then everybody stops, and you're forced to pay attention. I don't know, you're part of it. It's cool, like I kind of feel like where else are you're gonna be like that close to the actual sporting event happening, I thought it was cool.
Cavendar, thanks so much.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Obviously advertising with us again and letting us be involved with this and, giving the opportunity for our listeners to purchase these discounted tickets to this awesome event.
Yeah, the chat room says that what you just described, although you may not believe it, was fun.
No, I know what's fun. I visualize it. I walk through it. I see. I have fun my own favorite. everybody mislabels me as like, oh, look at him, he's done. Like I'm having fun inside. I'm just
I'm just not.
How do people? What do you like? No one's like, like raising the roof and everybody
like, hey, I'm having. This is the international having fun sign.
When I was out in the White Claw fan deck last year, like everybody was just like watching, drinking,
I
eating.
could tell you were having fun.
They're not screaming. Everybody is just hanging out, right?
Like, why are you screaming like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, I'm saying, like, what do they want me to do?
Yeah,
like,
now the chat room's clouded you for saying raising the roof. Why can't you just shut up?
That's a baloney
Why
Tom
can't
thing
you
to say.
just shut up? You made it worse.
Again, get your tickets through TomandDan.com. Click on the Arnold Palmer
now they're
Invitational.
saying I raise the roof on a daily basis. Everybody raised the roof of the White Claw party deck. Oh my God! Now it's getting hot in here because you embarrassed yourself.
I'm telling you, if you don't get these tickets, they're going to sell out. And you're going to be mad when you try to buy them in a week, and then they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
gone,
And
gone."
don't email me. Like they did last year. They did last year. They're like, yeah, but you know Cavendar. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And he didn't give me tickets.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
there's
what
a
are you
limit.
talking about? I think that's a real. This is business.
And if you see us on Thursday, if you're out there, come say what's up.
Yeah, come hang out with us. It would be a lot of fun to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Cavendar, thanks again. We appreciate it, and we will be right back.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Thank y'all.
Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Let me turn that off. Thank you again for doing it, man.
of course, guys.
Sorry we do so much of the talking.
Oh,
we just figured that,
People don't want to hear me talk.
the whole.
Well, I do.
Sometimes I think I'm like, did Cavendar have some more to say that I'm just bullying up? Like I'm just talking fucking too much, but I figured it's like.
No, it was great.
That's Wednesday, right?
That is Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday 3, and it was wide open.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So tomorrow we'll record Wednesday 2 and 4.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for doing it, man.
Yeah, man, of course.
And we'll see you out there.
I've got all the parking pass here.
Thank you, perfect.
Oh, thank you so much.
For you and Sam. Thank you very much. And then just some swag for you.
Appreciate you, man. That's really cool of you.
Just let us know.
You got it.
And just send me an email if it does get sold out. Just let us
Yeah,
know.
I will.
And then so that way we can find somebody.
Yeah, you got it.
That's why we put money in commercials now. And,
I love it.
Cool.
Dan?
See you guys. Take care, man. Well, not Tom, you. I mean, I'm not sending you both on your way. Having trouble. I'm saying the wrong words today. And I promise you, I'm not inebriated in any way. My brain's not. Something's messed up in my brain.
That's Alzheimer's.
Oh. How you doing?
Hey.
We're just.
How you doing? I'm Tom. Good to meet you. Come grab a
Daniel, pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you. Come on in. Probably put you right here.
Yeah, Jeff will be in.
Do you need something to drink, or I see you got something?
Water? Or go.
Awesome. I'm gonna pop the air now in a second. We'll get going here in just a minute.
And the company you work for is called 7 Cents, or right there. Cents, yeah. Cool. We just figured we'd talk to you about the tech and stuff because it's super complicated. And I was on the show. I have I'm not a tech person. It's hard for me to understand a lot of it. So I'll just ask you super simple questions that, but we'll talk about all that stuff. So it'll be easy. And then we'll just wait for Jeff to get here, and then it'll be super quick and easy. So. And you worked on also your company, the ball out in Vegas, right? Sphere. Okay, the Sphere.
I brought you some coloring pads.
Oh, okay, all right.
Appreciate you being here today.
So do you need me to lean in?
Oh, you
yeah.
can move that as close to
Yeah,
you. You
pull
just want
that
to be
closer
about an
to-
inch
yeah,
off
yeah,
of
there
it.
you go.
And then if you want headphones, there are some right there on the front of the little cabinet there. If you don't like them, I get it. Some people are okay with them. Some people hate them. I mean, it doesn't matter to us. We're pretty easy.
Headphones on today.
Right on. I'm going to put that, that's it. Oh, yeah, nice. So sort of like a Weird Job Wednesday, isn't it? Like, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
When we were talking about technology or science. Did you find the place okay? Because everything looks the same around here.
It's very celebration.
Oh yeah, there you go. You should be able to hear yourself now.
Yeah, I've never been to this area of town before.
Yeah, Baldwin isn't. I live a street over. It's an interesting, weird kind of spot. It's like, even by living here in the last 12 years, I still will be in a certain part, and I can't get home
Can't
just
figure out
using
how to-
my eyes.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I would have to get my, because everything is like,
It's like a Stepford maze.
it very much is. I
Yeah.
guess there is some
But I do understand why.
ease to making it look the same and like
Well, it-
upkeep. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know why they chose that.
It's also nice to look at a community that every house is the same. Like my community, some of the houses are painted bright orange and green dolphin
I
colors.
like that. I like the
And-
Caribbean colors.
And then some people decided to put bars on the windows, which
I'm a Caribbean bars windows man myself.
which is I'm like, well, by you putting bars on your windows tells the whole neighborhood
I
that
want to
you
keep
are
myself inside.
You're
No, I-
afraid
No.
of someone.
No, I want to keep myself inside. I'm protecting you from me.
And then if your car breaks down, we'll just leave it in the front yard for a while until the tires go flat.
I had a next door neighbor that the little house across
Yeah.
the street from my little house right here, and
Yeah.
behind. I used to live behind Park Ave CDs over here, and that little house. Remember the house directly across the street? Finally got bought last year. That's how long it took, but it had like 3 rusted out Ford Explorers.
Oh, yeah. Leaving junk in your front yard is, I'm very familiar.
Well, the best part about cars in the front yard is you can fill the cars with trash.
yeah. They're like mini storage
Yeah.
units.
This guy knows. Yeah, you are from that area. You lived in Deltona like I did.
Oh yeah, I grew up in Nebraska. My grandpa collected buses, and he filled them up with
Oh,
antiques.
you totally
No,
get
really?
into it. Oh, well, that's a higher level, though. I put that
Like
up.
what kind of buses? Like school buses?
Like old school buses.
Oh, okay.
Pickers love the school bus guys
you're
because they
right.
fill it full of great stuff. And then, of course, that one thing you want to be the very end, right? Packed
Yeah.
down in there.
Yeah. But then like inevitably.
Buses. How many buses did he have?
Oh, I think there were 3.
Whoa.
Oh, got 3 full
Whoa.
buses.
3
3?
full school buses.
Did
And
you
one
ever-
of them was like really old, and he had turned it into a camper. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did you
Oh,
go?
that was
Did you
cool.
go like rummaging around in there?
Oh yeah, but we used to go camping in that bus when I was
Oh,
a
that's
kid.
cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Very. We're going camping this weekend, and we're real excited about it.
Well, we
The
found out
wea-
it's going to rain and cold front's coming
Yeah.
in.
I don't
Oh,
even have a
God.
jacket. My wife's buying me a jacket right now. I'm gonna have to drive up to Dick's. I'll be.
And I know we're
I'll be
bitching,
out
it's
there wearing
fine.
Chicago Bulls championship jacket.
And it's fine. I know with a little rain, whatever. It's just right after beautiful weather, really.
Right.
And
The
that's the
best.
thing. It's like it's just bad luck that we didn't get the rain early because we could have had a perfect, beautiful, sunny weekend of the most spectacular Florida weather, and we're getting the worst part of it.
Yeah. But when we get home on the Tuesday, we come back here to broadcast.
Well, now I'm indoors.
yeah, but it'll
camping.
be great out there. We'll walk to Publix to get our food on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I'd rather just be rain and walk to Publix
Yeah.
than camping.
Okay, let me set the scene
I
because
think we
we're
got
waiting for
kids. I
Jeff.
mean, you know
This-
the kids are going to be
We're waiting for
bitching.
Jeff. This is a good warm up.
Okay.
We always talk to like we're on
And
YouTube
we
and
are
Twitch, so
recording,
yeah,
right,
we
yeah.
are on Twitch and YouTube, but we're not like recording for the show.
Yeah.
Here, I'll make you feel better. I forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on, I'm gonna make you
I
feel
like
better.
that,
No,
Both that happens to us a lot.
Yeah,
I think as we age,
yeah.
and then we're thinking about 10,000 things, like one of
Yeah,
them
it
gets
fell
lost.
Out. It fell out of my feet.
Because I do that. I know you do it too, where you're
Oh, I
about
do
to
it
say
worse than
something,
you.
then you jump 3 places, and you're like, hold that one thing, I'll
I'm
get
coming
back to
back
it. And then you come back to it, you're like, where?
I circle back around the parking lot.
What?
It's like picking up your wife when you drop her off to go inside to get a thing of milk, and you circle back around 3 times. I'll get her. Oh, and then the worst is when you get to the end of the parking lot and you look in the rearview mirror and you see that she just came out, and you're like, oh God,
Yeah.
I gotta go all
Yeah.
the way around.
Well,
And
at least
she-
she remembered she was there.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm going.
yeah.
I'll never. I should never let me forget that she's there. It's
It'd be funny if you just drove home. and
I
you
was
left her
gonna
at
make you
the
feel better, but
Publix.
I can't remember. It was about camping, right? About
Yeah,
us
yeah.
going camping this weekend.
Yeah. Did you bring lots of tarps?
No, I only have one tarp.
I like explaining to people who are like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, you don't understand.
We don't have to do it. Why don't we just do something else? Let's pivot.
And then I start explaining it to them, and then I'm explaining misery to them, and they're just like, still don't get it. In fact, I'm more confused. So, but when you
Let's just
explain
pivot.
why, no, we're gonna do it. We already committed.
But if it's not going to be fun,
That's fine. you have to do it, and because it'll make us tougher humans. You got to do miserable.
I'm already the toughest I'm ever going to get. And that's not very tough. Not very tough.
You got to put yourself through horrible misery, and the kids too. It's for the kids.
Do you ever put yourself through like something hard just to like as almost like a challenge?
Just to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went camping in the Dry Tortugas.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
How
So,
was
like,
that?
That's
you
a
have to
good
take
one.
your water and everything in there.
Yeah, because there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Would you camp it like in the middle of the fort?
No, there's a little campground just outside the fort, like outside the moat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Dry Tortugas since I was a kid. and
More
my
of
dad
a
used
wet
to take
Tortuga, man. Right?
my dad used to take his boat down there, and there's like I got some picture that of us in like with the fort in the background and him on his boat or whatever. Which then I was like, I want to replicate this picture, but I'll take my boat there. And then I was like, probably not a good idea because
70 miles.
like I have no idea of like the navigating. I'm guessing I'd have to either leave from Miami and just jump the Keys down there, but yet it's like pretty far away from Key West.
Come on in, man. We're just warming up and talking to YouTube and Twitch.
Okay.
Have a seat, my friend. You need anything? You need a
Oh, I'm good.
drink? Good to
So
see you.
much.
How's it going,
How
Jack?
you
You
been?
too. Thanks.
How you been?
Oh, just on prompt as ever.
No.
Oh, you're fine, man. What are you talking about?
We're just talking to Eric about
We're easy
camping and
We're
Now-
doing the.
Thanks
We're
for
just
coming.
doing the warm up, Jeff.
Okay.
I want to.
I totally meant to be on time.
You're
No, no,
fine.
no,
You're
no, no,
fine,
no.
man.
I need to look up if you can still camp in the Dry Tortugas.
Oh, now you got another challenge?
Oh, yeah, but it's got like a 3-year waiting list.
Does it?
Oh, and you don't do
God.
good waiting.
Oh,
Because
no.
he wanted to do this one pass in the. What was it? Remember you want to do like furnace?
Fiery Furnace in Moab.
Yeah.
We're doing it in March.
Oh, you're going back.
Well, if we can get the tickets in time, you gotta log in exactly 1 week
You won't get
to
it.
the 5
No,
minutes.
you'll never
Crystal,
get it.
all Crystal's
No,
doing
no,
it.
yeah, you'll never make
And
it.
then you got to refresh,
Yeah,
and then
you'll
you
never
get
get the fiery furnace.
It's like
You'll
trying
never
to get
do
on Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Why aren't the
it's
people-
better than the fiery furnace? Too.
But why isn't there no secondary market where people like StubHub, where people are selling their tickets to Fiery Furnace? Because I'll just pay the extra, like the Dry Tortugas.
And you need a cool name, like.
I'll just throw money at it. You can't throw money at it. They're like, oh, I already
what
taken.
Is it a ticket? Is it a pass?
Yeah, it's like
Pass, pass, stop, hub.
like no one sells it
I'm
because
trying to think of a funny thing. Never mind.
all the campers, they want to go for their own life experience and not for money. It is.
No, I want to go. I want to go for money.
I want to buy the Tortugas.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Canyon coupons.
Hey, oh man, Jeff, that's great.
go.
Canyon
Yeah,
coupons.
Thank you.
Get
My
on
God.
Canyon coupons.
Yes.
But there's no aftermarket for any of this. Like they're
There
not
would be though.
reselling it.
You would be in the market. Somebody has to start it. Somebody had to start StubHub.
I know.
You start Canyon coupons, and you're off to the races.
But those industries ruin the ticket price of everything. So, there's always repercussions.
There are
All right,
always repercussions.
let's do it.
What are we talking about today?
We're at Spark STEM Fest.
Yeah.
Spark STEM Fest. All right. Would you like to start, Mr. Van? Hold
Sure.
on one second, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm going to change this background. There we go. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Jeff here from the Orlando Science Center. How you doing, Jeff?
Good, thank you.
And we also have Eric Cantrell here to talk about Spark STEM Fest happening this weekend. Also,
Yes,
Science
sir.
Night Live is on Saturday. Get your tickets for that as well. But let's talk about Spark STEM Fest. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for being here, guys. It would be good seeing you. Jeff, always good seeing you, man.
Thank you. Nice to be seen.
So, Eric, let's talk about the Seventh Sense. That's the company you work for. And I went to your website and I started reading
I didn't
what
want
your
to tell
company
you
does.
I didn't want to tell you
this
this
is
the whole time we
embarrassing.
were talking. and I didn't want to say what Tom screamed from the other room.
Yeah, because I know you're partnering with Orlando Science Center for Spark STEM Fest.
Yes, sir.
And the stuff that your company does is amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm not joking. I was reading a description of the juggler, which is
Yeah, he was.
And
then I go, the what? And he's like,
Yeah.
the juggler. He's like, here, just listen to this.
yeah, and then I read what the juggler does, and I'm not joking. I'm like, I have zero understanding after I read what it does of what it does. Like, that's how complicated. Now, I'm not a tech guy.
Yeah.
So
let's start. Let's start from the beginning. What
Yeah.
exactly do you do? And I guess we'll work our way towards the juggler.
Yeah, which is the whole point of Spark STEM Fest. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what 7 Cents does is we make media servers, pixel processors, and show control systems. So what that means is anything that's taking images off of a hard drive and outputting them to a projector or a LED wall or things like that, we handle everything in between the hard drive and the display, basically.
okay.
So the hard part.
Yeah, processing
Like the
everything
magic,
along the way.
right.
All the magic, yeah.
And that also involves 3D projecting.
Absolutely.
Which I have seen, and it's amazing. I don't even understand how it's possible, really, because let's start with that. So, can you describe to me what 3D projections are and how it's done?
So there's two things that we could talk about around 3D projections. There's like the 3D movies where you have like the lenses on each eye, like in a theme park attraction.
Okay.
So you basically have an image that's conformed for the point of view of each eye, and those are being shown to the appropriate eye to kind of make you believe that you're in that 3D environment.
Let's stop right there, because the height of my...
Do you need to throw up? Are you okay?
No.
Is this too much? Are we going too fast?
You sparked a memory, Eric, which is the height of
Spark STEM Fest on brand.
of technology.
you're welcome.
In the early 90s was when Married with Children did their 3D special, and then they gave out
You're
3D
embarrassing
glasses.
me again. I don't remember
Well, I
that.
saw Eric
Married
nodding.
with he was like, absolutely.
And
it
then-
was my dream to one day be the man who created the Married with Children 3D special.
And then I asked my mom, we had to go
You
somewhere.
were there. You just wanted to see Kelly's 3D boobs.
No,
100%.
come on. And then we all, my mom got 3D, the blue, or the
blue and the
green,
red.
yeah, the red.
Blue
and the red,
For the
yeah.
whole family, we sat in front of our big box TV.
That's like American iconology, right? Like the family sitting with the glasses on, the popcorn bucket.
And then I believe my mom screamed, "It'll never get better than this."
Yeah.
This is the highest form of
Oh, I
technology
see Al Bundy's hand
fans
reaching
have
out.
ever seen, and it blew our minds. But anyway, so you're telling me it's better than that?
Yeah, because then you can take that whole concept and put it on a building, like a castle.
Okay.
We're here in Orlando, like we're familiar with this. But castles have a nice benefit. They don't move. The audience can move around them, but they don't move. But what we're doing at STEM Fest is we're essentially moving the castle.
Okay, so explain how that works.
So what we have is an object that we 3D printed, and then we took the 3D representation of that model and put it in our computer software.
Okay.
And we are playing back essentially a movie that has been flattened out, and it looks kind of like this. It's like like you unwrap an orange and you flatten it out on the desk.
Okay, yeah.
So then you can color it in, and then when you reassemble it or rewrap it back together, that's how it knows which surface
So
of
the
object.
movie is the skin of said object.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So
Holy
the
smokes.
technology flattens it and then basically projects the image and then puts it back.
So theoretically, if you could create me blank or a human body blank,
Exactly.
and then you could project any way I want to look with all I've seen. Yeah. So is this sort of similar to what we're seeing in theme parks now, where they're no longer doing the practical mechanic of a face? They're making just a blank kind of a dome-like head, and then they do a really, really hyper-detailed projection on there, and that's where you get like Elsa and Anna's eyelashes and their true skin tones and stuff. And then is that like...
It's exactly what we're talking
Oh,
about. Yeah.
man. Well, I definitely need to check this out because this stuff's pretty damn amazing.
Yeah, because you start to realize, all right, what the older technology would be to build an actual replica of, you know, whatever you wanted and then make it look realistic. And then now it's like, oh, well, we figured that we just digitally project whatever we want on a blank image and it's way more efficient, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Is the hardest part finding materials that can, I mean, does the material you're making have to, I mean, since you're projecting onto it, what can its source be? Can it be made of anything, the object? Or?
Yeah, well, there are some objects that accept light better than others. I mean, a lighter color, for instance, would reflect more light than a darker color. But if you're projecting on the side of a brick building, then you sometimes have like color differentiations between the grout lines or the
or the columns or whatever
exactly.
you want to say.
So then you need to kind of counterbalance that with the images that you're projecting.
Oh, wow.
And at Orlando Science Center, people can learn all about this, you know, this weekend at Sparks SimFest.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And we're doing a fun activity for the kids where they can color one of these flattened out models of what we're showing, and then we'll just put it in front of a little webcam, and that'll be feeding our computer software, which will wrap it onto a projection, and we'll actually be able to move the big one around, showing the drawing that the kid just made.
Oh, that's dope. My God.
You know what? Cancel the camping trip. Our kids would do better.
I mean, they would be set up more for the future.
What are they going to learn in the woods and freezing cold rain the whole weekend?
All I know is Maisie's going to complain the whole time, which is really why I don't want to go.
Why would my parents take me? They would go to the science center.
It has nothing to do with me. I'm fine. I can sit in the rain. I'm sad all the time. But her, not so much.
This is the future. Like, you know.
Now, I have seen businesses do very early on when some of this technology, this is years ago, when some
marketing,
you would start to see it. But then we had a meeting where we were going to try and do something like this with the soccer team. This is before they were MLS. This is when we were working for a minor league team.
Yeah.
But the price tag on this thing, you're right. We need to get our kids into this stuff now. Because the price tag on getting a building mapped, and then it was insane.
But we're talking 9 years ago.
It was at least 9 years ago.
9 years in technology is a lifetime.
Yeah. Oh, my God, 100 years.
Right? Like, how much of this technology progressed? Because we knew of it in 9 years when they were talking about, like, digitally mapping the side of a building for advertising, and then and then
making cool effects.
And I remember back then we were like, "Whoa!" We didn't even know that technology existed, and now we've seen it.
I think it took my breath away. It was like I'd seen a ghost or something.
But I imagine it's crazy better now, right?
Oh yeah, way better. And gaming technology with like Unreal Engine and Unity, the applications that are used to make like Fortnite and all of these other video games. Those are available now for artists to make movies with. And so that 3D workflow is so much simplified, and it's a way faster render pipeline.
Very cool.
Like, you don't have to sit and wait for the computer to crunch it out. It's doing it in real time now.
So the computing power really helps this all out, because I remember, like, with rendering, like, it used to take an insane amount of time to render special effects, like back in the day.
Well, even here, something as simple as us, to put it in very, very simple terms for, like average Joes, just rendering all of the streaming we do here. If we wanted a 1080p file of that, I mean, that's a couple hours, and that's nothing. There's nothing advanced about that.
Yeah,
that's as basic as it gets. It's just because we don't have terribly powerful computers. Are some of the machines you guys have to work with like legendary level?
Yeah, we build really, really high power computers with super duper like graphics processing built into them and really fast drives. We have to access a lot of information really, really quickly in order to do something on the scale of like the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the Sphere.
I still don't know what that thing is, why we have it, why people would play in it, why things would be projected. I don't
It looks
know.
awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, it does look awesome. It's like seemingly one of those things, and I do like these things that have zero purpose. It's just like, we wanted to see if we could do this, and we did.
Well, the purpose,
and I think that's why I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know what it is
for shows and entertainment inside the Sphere. And let's talk about it, because 7 Cents was part of building the Sphere, right?
Yeah, so we are the pixel processing and media playback system that runs the Sphere basically inside and out.
And so, how is it? Are those images projected? How does it work?
So it's like an LED, like you see the LED billboards on the side of that's just a static playback, but now we're going to take that and multiply it dozens of times and wrap it around an audience. And you can't do that with rectangular elements. You got to take those panels and take away pixels, or shift the pixels together to create that concave surface. So now you're dealing with missing pixels, and what do you do with them? You got to move them around, and that's where juggler comes from, is that it's juggling the pixels around to put them in the right place.
Oh, well, I understood that.
The description on that. No, you needed a human to explain it.
Well, when you
Like a
explain
real
it
human.
to a third grader or something, to me that has the intelligence of that.
If
That's what I
Billy
need.
has one orange, you need it like that.
Yeah.
Light it
How
up.
many oranges? Now, speaking of LED technology, because I had this thought a long time ago, and I want to see if you can tell me if it's true. So I thought to myself, I was like, man, it seems like LED technology will get so good and so realistic, and like the pixel rate will be, now we're in like what K now, beyond 8.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get to
I don't even know.
64K or whatever.
That really is the mark of when you become old, when you lose how many Ks we're at. I do feel that way. Like,
I'll stop at 4.
I was like,
That's
we're
it.
at 8, and I was like, oh my God, we're not, are we? We're way beyond 8.
We used to be so excited about 4.
And I've never had true 4. Never had that. I'm a 720p guy.
Yeah.
I'm an old
You're
school.
old
They call me
school.
720D.
Yeah.
That's my name on the street.
feel it. I feel
720D.
So I imagine that the K will get so advanced that we can't differentiate through the human eye
And they're
between.
like, oh my God, what K am I?
Well, between
Help!
like, it'll get to where it's the same as reality to
Well, that's
our
what
eyes.
we were hoping
right?
with when my buddy Dave was using those backdrops, those LED walls for Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
That was all my buddy Dave was working on that, and nobody it looks like a planet to me. I'm like, how do you even know?
So then I got even further than that. I'm like, okay, well, that's inevitable where we can't differentiate, what's being brought, what's digital and what's reality. So then I was like, well, LED screens are getting cheaper and easier to produce. So then I was like, well, it makes sense to me that everybody's windows will be LED screens and broadcast to whatever outside we want to look at, whether it's a snowy mountain or the Grand Canyon or the beautiful beach in Fiji or whatever. And now you're living in a city, but you're looking out the window and it looks like you're living on a beach. And then every window is just LED and everything's just LED.
And then San
you
Fran loses and I'm smashing my windows.
But then I
I've
get
seen
to
all those videos.
Well, why not just put on VR and then you're doing the same video?
I know.
So what's the
Windows
future,
are
Eric? Sorry.
So yeah, the future is more and more densely packed pixels.
Okay.
And then you can basically have them as tiny as you want. They're getting real good. Like you can be right up next to it and not even see it.
So have you seen stuff that you can't tell if it's reality or pixels?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
For example, like the sphere, like you're in there and it breaks your brain. Like there's so much visual information. It's higher density information than your eyes can pick up.
So based on cartoons, if my brain's already broken and I go to the sphere, fix my brain.
But what's really,
I got to go to the sphere.
What's really cool is like your eyes are focused at a very specific fixed plane, but you're viewing the content which has been shot with lensing to go out into infinity at the horizon. So you can actually see things at the horizon better in that type of an environment than you could in reality.
You're a good explainer.
Wow.
That makes you're good at this. You should should be a Spark Stim Fest. You should sign him up for the Spark Stim Fest.
He's perfect for this.
Yeah. Well, this is what we do. We make relationships happen.
Yes. Thank you, Tom.
So that
If I had a
Eric,
nickel for every time I heard that.
so that's what I find fascinating because I don't think people can comprehend when they see the sphere in Vegas. They're like, oh, okay, well, it's just like there's like my TV, but it's round. Like that's what they're thinking of. But what they've never experienced is being totally immersed,
you're immersed
into this LED
You're dunked in
technology
it, yeah.
where you're right, where it breaks your brain because your brain doesn't understand what it's seeing because it's never seen anything like that. You're right.
Only in reality.
Yes,
Right.
So it's only experience like when you walk out into nature and then you're seeing.
We're
you're
gonna
like,
do that this weekend on our horrible camping trip.
I know. You're like, okay, I'm used to this, but you never where it's being digitally shown to you, where it's almost the first instance of a virtual world, right? That we've ever been inside of.
Yeah, it's like it's like virtual reality, but you're there with your best friends and you can see them in real life. They're not avatars. Like they are your group of people that you went to the show with. So you're all experiencing the exact same thing at the exact same time together, which is like when we go to a theme park. We go and we experience things
That's
together.
why we do things. Yeah, it is the tribalism of that. I had some friends that went and said it is a very depending also on where you sit, it changes your experience. Like he went one time and he sat like very close. He went one time and sat like higher up, I believe, and then he said, "Woo!" It was like getting me because it's very
high
it does
up there.
breaks your brain.
So with every piece of technology, like obviously it eventually gets to consumer grade, right? Like, do you see a future where people are getting like
the windows you were talking about?
yeah, the window or just a mini sphere in like one room of their house will be this mini sphere technology.
It'll be your entertainment room.
Where you walk in and then just make it any place in the world that
They
you
had
want.
that on Star Trek, right?
Like, right?
They would walk, and I'm not even a Star Trek guy, but I remember like Picard. Is that right? Picard.
Yeah.
He'd walk into the thing.
bald guy.
Yeah, the bald guy, Patrick Stewart, and he'd be like, "Give me the, make me in the Amazon rainforest," and he'd.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why not?
And it sounded just like that.
Yeah, that wasn't bad for being a non-Star Trek guy.
Yeah.
I should get a lot of points.
So do you foresee that happening, Eric?
I think we're in the beginning of that with
Yeah.
with virtual reality and the headsets that you can wear at home, and you'll be able to look around and do whatever you want. But it's the element of doing it together with other people that's the missing thing.
The
right
link,
now.
yeah. And there's something too that is never
That's
you're
why-
still wearing a headset. And
That's
you
why
got-
the Oculus never pulled us in too, because what you're referencing, I don't have those connections with, like if I had you there, Andrea, you guys there, people that I know that are like in there, and I was interacting with them in that world, it would be different.
Yeah.
But every time I've interacted, it's just been a young kid cursing me out as I'm standing. You know what I mean? I'm serious. It's not a good experience. So it's not.
Noob Killer 24.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, "You're an old man." You know, they're like, well, hey, "You left your mic on," or something. They're yelling at me.
But again, this is all the beginning. I'm excited because I feels like we're in some sort of renaissance of like we're seeing the beginnings of the inevitable
Ooh, a
future.
Renaissance. I can wear my beret.
Well, like so that leads me to AI.
Yep.
So let's talk about AI because I everybody knows about
Oh,
it
it's
now.
not. You shouldn't call it AI anymore.
Huh.
I'm starting something where I call it artificial intelligence, and I don't abbreviate it.
Okay.
Like seriously, I say the whole thing.
All right.
I like it's like saying X instead of Twitter. It's just it annoys people.
So it's become commonplace in society where everybody's heard about it. If it's reached us, we're making AI songs, which is another thing I want to talk to you about because it blew my mind when. But so we all kind of are familiar with its existence, but none of us, I feel, besides from really smart tech people, understand how it works. So let's start with that. Like, how does the base of AI even work?
It's based on basically replicating a huge data set of things. So it's drawing a pixel by pixel if we're doing like an AI generated artwork. It's drawing pixel by pixel, deciding based on the prompt what's the most likely next thing to draw. And that's why when it's drawing hands and stuff, it really messes them up, and you get 7 fingers and you get an arm with 2 hands on it, and all kinds of weird stuff because it's not good yet. I mean, it looks good, but the content isn't.
Gotcha.
But like this is how dumb I am, by the way. But I was telling.
he knows. I can look at his eyes and tell he knows how dumb you
I
are.
explained to other dumber people, but there are dumber people than me, which is
this
really
is what tears
scary.
down this is what tears down society is when the dumb people explain everything to the dumber people.
And then I explain it like I know exactly what I'm talking about. I have
you
no idea.
explain
I'm just
everything like
kidding.
you know,
No, I
because
know.
the one
I'm
thing
just making it
the
up.
one thing you have is confidence, and you're starved for attention.
This is what's ruining the world, by the way.
I just said that. I literally just said that.
Like me and the way I think is
I
ruining
know.
the world because I'm convinced I'm right and I have no idea. But so
I also just said that, and you took it from me, and you said, "You know what's wrong with the world? What Dad just said, but I'm gonna say it because I'm Tom."
So I assumed that it was just taking information from the internet and then filling in the gaps. So
That's what I thought too.
So for instance, like the AI song generators, I'm sure you're familiar with. We've been using them on our show, which is you put in
because we're
prompts.
lazy.
Yeah, and which is, by the way, technology I never thought I'd see. I was like, oh, it'll be 1,000 years before we can write complicated, creative songs.
This wasn't in my kid brain. Like this wasn't on my bingo card.
Like,
we were not supposed to have.
For
this.
whatever reason, like the art didn't impress me as much as the songs, which is the same thing. Like
the art is more impressive
Yeah,
to me.
no, I
The
know.
art is more impressive to me that I can go to a box and say like, hey, I want a picture of Shaquille O'Neal dunking a baby doll into a canoe. And it will nail it 100% of the time, 100% of the time.
Yeah. And
He'll be throwing a toy baby doll into a canoe.
But it's funny how our brains become instantly like like bored with it already. Like once we saw AI art, we were like crazy impressed for like 2 weeks, and then we're like, all right, that's the norm now.
Give me something else.
And then the songs too, we're like, oh yeah, you could ask AI to build a song.
Like Shakira singing "My Heart Will Go On" or something.
Right.
So it's not just borrowing little things from the internet and putting it together. Or is that kind of right?
It's kind of that.
I knew it was kind of.
See, I always assumed it was like a torrent. Like I was always assuming, like if you wanted to make a song, like if I said to the songwriting software, like, hey, I want a country song about podcasters, that it would take what it knew on the web of podcasters, what it knew of country song, like it's stealing like torrents, like little bits, and then it puts it all together and that's why it kind of looks like the fingers are all a little off. It's because it's like it's trying to do it. Is that close?
That's exactly what it is.
All right,
it learns through seeing lots and lots of content what country music sounds like and what chord progressions there are and what voices.
And the reason it nails country
that.
music, and this is not a diss, this is not a don't at me, is because it is a more simple, like it is certainly more simple than electronic music. If you put like an electro beat next to like a singer-songwriter country song, the country song has might be just a guitar and a man, easier to replicate.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's easier to do rap and country, slower cadences, slower BPM. I don't know.
Well, here's all the stuff you could learn at
At
Spark
Spark
STEM
STEM
Fest
Fest.
because
Exactly.
it's infinite information.
You're not going to learn it from us.
And by the way, this is the future. Bring your kids to learn.
Don't take them camping. You're an idiot if you do that.
If they learn it early and just the basics of how it works, like they will have a tremendous advantage in this world moving forward, right?
Absolutely.
Like all this technology is going to be what is standard practice. It already is, and then it's just compounding itself.
Yeah, it already
it's like
is.
reading. It's a fundamental level of understanding.
No, don't talk about reading. He doesn't know how to read.
And just networking too, like with people like Eric and talking to them about his company and stuff. It's all super valuable, and right here in our backyard at the Science Center.
Yeah, and these are a lot of jobs that people may not even know exist.
So Jeff, what's the easiest way? I know if you are a member of the Science Center, you get in free.
Yeah, if you're a member of the Science Center, you get access to all this amazing stuff with your membership, so no additional cost. But walk up, buy a ticket. You're getting in for $24 if you're an adult, $18 if you're a kid.
Nice.
It is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday this weekend, the 17th through the 19th. In addition to Eric's company, we've got 30-some partners displaying really cool stuff. NASA's there. We got a group called Minorities in Shark Science, which is doing all kinds of cool stuff with marine biology, doing stuff on food science, doing stuff on engineering. The first robotics people are there. We've got a very cool guy, Science Bob, who's been on the Today Show. He's been on Kimmel. He's going to be doing some insane science experiments, giant foam explosions. It's going to be 3 days of awesome science. 10 to 5, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Come on down to the Science Center. It is so packed, you're not going to be able to see it in just one visit.
And if you want an adult experience, you can go to Science Night Live, and that's adults only. They got some adult beverages. You walk around and learn. If you don't want to bring your kids, or bring your kids and then go to Science Night Live for
exactly. Science Night Live is Saturday night the 17th. That's adults only, 21 up. It is the Spark STEM Fest experience, but kicked up a notch for adults, food and beverage, We've got an amazing speaker, Dr. M.J. Swallow. He's a scientist in residence at the Science Center.
Oh, very cool.
He's talking about nuclear fusion as a way to produce clean energy, the latest breakthroughs in that. We've got a group called We Flip. These are acrobats. They're going to teach you about physics through doing acrobatics.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So that's pretty awesome, and that's at Science Night Live. And We Flip is back for the Spark STEM Fest as well. So just some really cool stuff going on all weekend.
Very cool, y'all.
Awesome. Find it all at osc.org, and we will be right back. Sorry, I just realized.
No,
that
I'm glad you did that, 'cause I was looking at the time. We were
Yeah,
pushing it because we were really having fun with you. And then
I
I'm
know,
like,
I
I look at the
need
time, like,
more.
oh, crap.
20 more AI questions that were inevitably going to be stupid, though.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for letting us go for. Oh, you're good, man. I can get them for you. You can just set them right there. I'll
Oh,
get 'em for
the
you.
one I wanted to, like, it
Thanks
dawned on
again
me,
for the time, man.
Yeah,
Really
no
nice to
problem.
meet you. Pleasure.
And this one scared me because it dawned on me the other day. I was like, there is no reason to ask a human being a question for any information anymore. Like, because there's
That's ChatGPT.
yeah, or just Google it, like, because you're always gonna get the hive intelligence of 10 million things, which is always gonna be more accurate than one person. So there's really no.
They still do have hallucinations every now and then.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll just go off track and it just kind of go. You know how your mind will wander as you're answering a question.
I noticed I noticed that. Oh no, I need to move that for you so you don't. I need to shorten your chair. Oh God. Oh no. I noticed that in my show notes when I use AI to organize the notes that Sam will give me. I don't have them today because it's just too hard to try and think and write things down. But when I do them, I'll put them in there, and I notice, and I've had to learn prompts, and I've had to learn how to talk to it, and there's little things. Even the language you use to talk to it and being nice matters in what you get back. At least with ChatGPT.
Oh yeah.
So. Like, I'm very nice to it now, and like I ask pretty please, and I put like stuff like that. And then like one of the other things that I noticed is that if I use the same notes and then kept adding to every day, that it would go back in the other notes and it would start to get confused.
Right.
Like, it was using my old notes and confused. So the more, let's say I was using the same link, like, hey, check out TomandDan.com, and then I put that in every single day. Eventually, my TomandDan.com became like TomandDan.com.TomandDan.com. It was like, it was too much repetition. It was almost like it had looped around itself and was like trying to do the same notes
over and
over again.
Huh.
So there are it'll freak out occasionally and do like really weird things. Like,
well, just learning how, like, that's a super valuable.
are we done recording?
Yeah.
Okay, guys.